Hi, I'm Steve from the Oasis side of Emmanuel. I'm not sure if anyone will actually be watching this devotion on Christmas Day, but if you are, a very happy Christmas to you indeed. The passage that we're looking at today is Revelation chapter 16, and if you have already read it, then you will know that in some ways this is the least appropriate passage ever for Christmas Day. In it, we see the seven angels pouring out seven bowls of God's pure and righteous anger on all the evil on earth. Now, seven in the Bible symbolizes fullness, and we see that in these judgments because they affect earth, sea, rivers, sky, as well as the social and spiritual dimensions of mankind. We see that God's judgment is thorough and complete. And that is a very good thing, because who wants to know a God who turns a blind eye to sin, or who leaves even just one wrong unrighted? And although much of this chapter is symbolic, we need to realize that it does refer to a real point in history and real people who will be alive on earth when God wraps this present age up and Jesus returns. And the great tragedy of this chapter is that it appears that during the course of this judgment, there is still opportunity for people to turn from their sinful ways to God, who want us to show love and mercy, but they choose not to and curse God instead. So, to be honest, it is tough reading, but here are three things to celebrate on Christmas Day. Firstly, we celebrate what will be the final overthrow of all the forces of evil by the might and power of God. The conflict between God and Satan, good and evil, Jesus Christ and the Antichrist will end. The outcome, of course, has never been in doubt, but God will show himself to be victorious. And of course, we, his people, will share in that victory. You know, there's so much that perplexes us today and in our lives, in our personal circumstances and in world affairs, but that will end. No more sin, shame, pain, sickness, disease, pandemics, natural disasters, injustice, abuse, corruption, temptation, doubt, fear, war, terrorism, death, bereavement, grief, all these things will end. And so the list go on. That is worth celebrating. Secondly, we celebrate the fact that though we deserved ourselves to come under the judgment of the seven bowls of God's wrath, we won't. They will pass over us like the angel of death passed over Israel and visited only their cruel and harsh slave masters. We won't have to experience any of it because we have already been rescued and delivered. This is the grace and the mercy of God. And if there's anybody that's watching this right now that's wondering, well, how is that possible? Well, then this leads me on to the third thing that we can celebrate from this chapter, and that is this: we don't avoid judgment by getting our act together and somehow trying to make our good deeds outnumber our bad ones. They never will. That's why Jesus came as a baby to planet Earth. You know, the Christmas story is easily sentimentalized, if there is such a word as that. We have images in our minds of a cozy stable with fluffy white rabbits and talking cows. In reality, it wasn't pretty and it wasn't nice. Much of the Christmas story actually is harsh and brutal. And Jesus' life continued in that vein. Now, mankind has to bear the penalty for its sin and rebellion against God. And so that's why Jesus came to live among us and die among us as one of us and to bear it all for us. The one person who never ever deserved to die, who never once sinned in thought, word, or deed, came and suffered to rescue and deliver us from Revelation chapter 16. He came to be our Emmanuel, God with us. Now that is worth celebrating more than anything else this Christmas Day. God bless you. Whatever is happening for you this Christmas, whether it's good, whether it's not so good, may this be a season in which you are able to reflect on his grace, mercy, and kindness towards you.